Last spring, I had surgery to fix a deviated septum in my nose. It was an injury that I didn't realize I had until I went and saw a doctor about actually some other things. The doctor who performed the surgery on me told me, yeah, your nose, it's deviated, it's messed up, it's broken. And apparently I had it for several years and I didn't even know about it. But now that I've had the surgery, I can breathe properly now and my nose is completely fixed. I've thought back and I can pinpoint to where I likely broke my nose and deviated my septum to this backyard wrestling match. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Murpho, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you enjoy it, please like, share, consider subscribing to the channel as well. Hit that bell button when you do so I get notifications whenever I upload a video to the channel. Now, welcome back to another backyard wrestling reactions match video about a match from backyard wrestling. This match that we are about to show, this is back in 2009, I believe. Early 2009, I believe February or March. Yeah, it is that old. I went about 10 years without getting my nose fixed. And the injury actually happens right off towards the beginning. This was one of the biggest matches for me at the moment. This takes place 2 months prior to the first match that I reacted to. Hopefully I'm aiming in the right direction. That way, check out the card right over there. So this is my match at Adrenaline Rush 3. It is the main event. It was basically our WrestleMania for our Fed. For NECW, Northeastern Championship Wrestling. Northeastern Championship Wrestling is a combination of 3 feds, and this was the culmination of all the storylines we had done in our first year. It was a championship match between myself and my friend Brett, who wrestles as Ace Reed. Ace is the heel, I am the face. He is the tormented heel who has just been laying waste to the entire roster. I am the plucky, take no crap face in this match. We had both come in as champions of our respective brands into a triple threat match with the champion from the other Fed, and Ace Reed had won, and I had emerged after that fallout as the #1 contender. And we went forward into this storyline. This involved him actually taking out members of factions that we had both led at the time, as well as taking out my own brother in a storyline, leading to getting under my skin. A lot of psychological mind games. The mind games are up and over and done with. Let's go ahead and let's jump on over to the video. Going this way this time. All right, so here we go. As you can hear the guys talking in the background. That is our buddy Jeremy right there. He was one of the other wrestlers. He served as a ref of the match, and he did the introductions. This starts off a little bit different from the other videos you've seen, where there's a little bit of actual crowd audio in this one, which I kind of like. The triple threat match like that, but that belt is actually the tag team championships for NECW. I was one half of the tag champs with my fellow stablemate John Crosby, who was the leader of the faction in KW, the other Fed, when my Fed merged with them, BCW, and we kind of became co-runners of the faction, and thus we became a tag team and became tag champs, which we had, I believe we had won or defended on day 1, and this is the main event of day 2. Here's Ace Reed, Brett with that NECW championship. We're actually going to pause this right here because this championship right here that Brett Ace is holding, it's actually custom. It's full of plastic and everything, but we actually do have it say NECW on it. And that championship I actually use when I won the global championship. What we had done up until the person who won it after me had the championship was that whoever won it would use their own belt to represent the championship. And so I paid homage to this Fed that I wrestled with, which is my favorite Fed that I've ever wrestled for. Because this was like my main home Fed, so I used this championship belt for when I eventually won the big one. So yeah, I just figured I'd point out that little fact as we get into this. Brett right now, his character is fueled by anger and rage, and we have this personal rivalry, so we're just going at each other right here. Haymakers, huge forearms here, much better than the triple threat match I showed. Big shots. I sell the hand to make it look like we're really laying into each other. Big shot, faking out with a kick. So I reverse. I'm like, that's cute. I answer back with a kick and an uppercut, and we basically hit a stalemate here, and we're like, okay, well, this just laying into each other isn't working. Let's try to out wrestle each other, and so we tie up, collar and elbow. Really just fighting for it there. Wrist lock comes in, and this was an idea up here by Brett that I really love. This is one of my favorite ideas. You don't really see it that often in wrestling. I go to roll out of the torque, and he rolls with me to keep the pressure on. And here's the moment. That is where I broke my nose. That is where the deviated septum came from. Well, I believe right in the fotch I get kicked. Now, if as I go back here and check it out, you'll see Brett Ace is wrenching my arm. He wrenches my arm, and traditionally in wrestling, when you wrench the arm, that means like you're really trying to give extra torque. So as the person taking it, you traditionally sell into it, sell more. So like when he went like this, I thought it was a sign I'm really gonna wrench and work this, sell it, oversell it. So I went and I sold down and sold basically down to like one knee, but he was actually setting up for a kick to the chest. So when he did this and did the kick, my chest was not there. Instead, it was my schnoz. So as you guys see on the watch back, boom. I sell down to one knee as he comes in, and there I am right there. I'm just like FML right now. FML. My eyes immediately watered up. Lots of pain right here. And I'm like, I'm worried that I'm not gonna be okay. And right there, you can see on Brett's face if you watch, he's like, oh god. He walks away and gives me time to like recover, as he knew that he got me right in the face and that I needed it. And he's thinking to myself, oh my god, I think I just screwed up this match. Please don't let me have ruined this match and broken his nose. Well, Brett, you did break my nose, it turns out. I found out a decade later, but, you know, I was okay enough to continue the match. So, yeah, he's just standing there. He's pretending to brood. As you see right there, I was checking to make sure I wasn't bleeding, which I wasn't, but now we get to use this. It's good because this was going to be the point where Brett and as Ace was going to build up heat anyway. So it ended up working out in the end. Great shots here. Good kicks. Nice drop kick. Suplex number one. And as you see right there, oh, right there. As you see, I'm selling my chest here and my heart. And the reason for that is because on this suplex, for some reason, when my legs came around, I kept them bent. So that way they would both hopefully land feet first, flat first. And it might have to do with the fact that this base is on an incline. But instead of my feet landing flat on the base, my heels both hit at the same time. And the shockwave from the impact actually literally ran up my legs into my chest, and I felt a pain in my heart. And that's why I'm selling my heart instead of my back, because of the shockwave that went right into there. Heart's fine. I didn't have any heart problems. I didn't have a heart attack or anything. Don't worry about that. It was just a slight little pain, but that explains why when I scream in pain and I do this instead of this, you know why. And then a beautiful bridging fisherman with the cinch too. A little insulting, like, head hump drive into the mat. What a spike by that young gentleman. Rolling into a splash. Dip there. Jump up. Jumping calf kick that I love to do. And right there, that's the sit out F5 that I nearly killed Brett on. That eventually, as you watch some of my other videos, turns into a F5 where I turn and put my knees up for a back cracker. This was originally a sit out where I sat out instead of put the knees up. And on this one, when I went to deliver it to Brett, my hand slipped off the bottom of his thigh and his quad or whatever, and I only got pants, his shorts. So I had to try and rotate him onto the shorts, and that's why he landed a little crumpled instead of flat on his back. Luckily, it didn't hurt him that much. I love dragon suplexes, which might be one of the reasons why I love Kenny Omega so much. I love that split leg drop there. And oh, there's a moonsault. As you guys have seen in previous videos, I used to do a moonsault. It was a bad moonsault. I used to do them fine in practice. Before shows would start, I would practice my moonsaults, and I could do them fine. But as soon as somebody was there in a match, I ended up like always landing crooked, and that's why I eventually stopped doing it, because I didn't want to hurt somebody. This is one of the rare occasions where I actually got a good rotation and landed, even though I was still a little like crooked there, and that also has to do with the incline of the base, gave me that extra little leg room. And as you saw those 3 sentons before, that eventually became my 2 sentons and an elbow combo. It just originally started off with just a trio sentons, and I was like, let me change it up with an elbow. And my friends would tease me for a while for it. Love shooting star presses too, with that bridge. Huge power bomb right there to Brett. And now here comes the cutoff, or maybe not. This is the hope spot continues. Codebreaker, huge Enziguri. With that Enziguri, I originally was just gonna do a normal one, but then Brett, as you see, ducks his head. So I'm like, well, crap! Now I have to try harder to like angle and come around and actually contact him, so I don't whiff, and I end up practically murdering him. Duck here, nice little duck there, flip, discus forearm to the head. What a bump! What a bump by this gentleman right here. You can sell there. That was Brett's finisher. So the cutoff came. Brett's finisher is just an elbow straight to the back of the head to knock somebody out. I duck it. I go for the kick of my finisher, reverses it into his second finisher, which is a triangle choke, which he's tapped pretty much almost dead. He either knocks you out or he makes you tap out. And when he delivered the elbows, nobody had resisted his maneuver, especially once he got the elbows in. So the fact that I was able to stay in for that long and get out of it shows the toughness of my character. And then reverse into the Frosian off the sliced bread. Wonderful reversal. 1-2. Kick out. Only the second person ever to kick out of my finisher, as you see the grossest of Clover Tamers here. Brett ended up sideways somehow, and it just looks disgusting. You'll find out why he's the second person ever to kick out of my finisher a little later. And I go for my finisher again. Lovely reversal, catches me mid pump lift into another triangle choke, and I've already been in there for a while for the first time with the elbows, and so eventually, after refusing to tap for a while, he starts delivering the elbows again, and even I can't resist. What? The good guy lost? The bad guy wins on the WrestleMania show? What? Yeah, Brett needed to go over here. I wanted to make Brett look good, but also because we had ulterior motives for the show. As you can hear, or maybe not, our friend and fellow wrestler in the Fed, Danny, he was a young up-and-comer in the Fed. He is the first person ever to kick out of my finisher. And that was just a few weeks prior when he and I had a match, because it was in a stable with Brett as the young up-and-coming. He was kind of like the Randy Orton to Brett's Triple H in Evolution. And so when he started sicking Danny on me, I used psychological warfare to convince him that he's better than what Brett tells him, and he's got potential, and he should realize his potential and actually fight looking for respect instead of being a little piece of garbage lackey. And so he actually won a Money in the Bank ladder match at the event earlier. And so he realizes he's broken from the spell that Brett has put on everybody in his stable, and is now cashing in. And basically, Ace Reed's like actions are coming back to haunt him based on the way that he's treated people. He's created not just an enemy in me, but an enemy from within his own inner circle. Danny hits the finisher on Ace Reed, but Ace Reed, like I believe I mentioned earlier, he's kind of like a Sith in a way of the Fed, kind of like a Darth Vader type character, where he was in a dark place when he won the championship and just used rage, anger, and hatred, and just disregard for anyone's well-being to win the championship, win at any cost. Huge kick to Danny's face too there. And so he's using that rage and that anger to basically just survive in situations where normally nobody else in the Fed would. He hits Danny with the finisher, but Danny, the fresher person and the more resilient person who was kicked out of my finisher and shows that he's potentially better than me, kicks out there. And then gets out of this. Falcon Arrow. 1, 2, nope. And so, yeah. I'm at a loss for words right now just because I'm trying to fill time as we watch this other Falcon Arrow. Now here we go. Danny, this is impressive by Danny. These poles, by the way, originally had ropes. You can see the turnbuckles in them, but the ropes went bad and we had to replace them. Danny, a Jeff Hardy fan, had the Senton Bomb as his finisher, and bam! Off the top of the pole, just lands right in the middle of Ace Brett. 1, 2, 3. The villain's been vanquished. We have a new champion. Also, we didn't mention this. Ace had been champion for over a year. At Adrenaline Rush 2, which was a KW event, he had won the championship. He carried it into the unification match of the summer when the three feds came together and won. So he had been the champion for a full year, and his year-long reign of terror finally comes to an end. And it is basically it is the up-and-comer that we wanted to build as a star for our fed going forward, and Danny who does it. And the way we saw it, like, you know, myself and Brett were already the top guys from our individual feds when the feds came together. And so we really could afford the loss. We didn't really need the championship to establish ourselves in this fed. But Danny, he was young, he was up and coming. We could use it to build him as somebody else in the fed. Of course, it actually didn't pan out because Danny eventually flaked a few weeks later and we had to vacate the championship from him. But at least the moment was cool. And now here, my character is just happy that somebody's beaten Ace Reed. Whether or not it was me, all it matters is that somebody who actually wrestles the right way and competes the right way is the one who holds the championship. So, and meanwhile, Ace here, he has been shattered. He was actually known as Broken Ace Reed, but this was way before the Hardy thing ever happened. If I can remember, I think so. His identity has been completely tied to this championship and holding it and being the best. And so now that he doesn't have it, he's having an identity crisis here. He doesn't know what to do. And this is embraced with PJ, who is his stablemate, co-stable runner, and best friend. They're also PJ and Brett are also best friends outside of wrestling too. Is there to console him and potentially teases. PJ started to slightly turn face. It teases a potential face turn for Brett as well. And as the video ends, PJ, the cheeky little jerk that he is, breaks character and does a thumbs up to the camera. And so that is the story of the match where I broke my nose, and it is also the story of the match where this was like a very big moment for me in my backyard wrestling career, because this is eventually what helped give me momentum and confidence to do well in JWA, where I'd win a championship there, start going to super shows and do well there. So this acted as a launching pad and one of the first steps in my success with the global backyard wrestling community and super shows and super feds in general. And I got to thank Brett for that, because me and Brett, we have great chemistry. There's another match or two that I believe that we're involved in once we started doing super shows and other super feds above what we were capable of doing. That were really good too. Maybe I could get him over, or maybe get some of these people that I'm in matches with over to do some reactions with me. But we'll find out eventually. We'll see. Hopefully. But that's gonna do it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, make sure to like it if you liked the video. Would let me know that you want to see more of this content, that you're enjoying this content that I am providing. Consider subscribing, sharing the video if you enjoyed it. If you know anybody else who might like this kind of stuff, be sure to let them know. Hit the bell button when you do subscribe so you get notifications every time I put out a video. I also put out tier lists, other kinds of reactions, and eventually I want to get back to doing some how to Twitch videos, so check those out as well. You can also check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/_Murpho. I stream every single week, 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those Wednesdays, if you're a wrestling fan, which you should be if you're watching this, I do an AEW NXT watch party. We watch Dynamite and NXT, and then I'll play some video games afterwards as we talk about what happened. So be sure to check me out over there as I hit the microphone. Good job, Murpho. All right, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Today? Maybe you're watching it today. Or maybe you're watching at night, so in which case, either one works. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Until I see you again, peace, deuces. I'll catch you later.
Little bird. Tweet, tweet. Tweet.